for nearly 45 minutes. Saban was asked a lot about what it's like to come back to Louisiana, face his old school LSU on college football's biggest stage. The coach saying he has the utmost respect for the Tiger faithful, but now he bleeds crimson and white.
The relationships that we have with lots of folks here in Louisiana certainly are important to us, but we also know that we represent the other side now, and we hope that people can respect who we are, but we also know that they're going to be passionate about what they want to accomplish for their team.
And tonight on WVUA News at 6, Saban will talk about whether he believes LSU may have what some people are calling a home field advantage. The coach will sound off on that tonight on the news at 6. Now also today, you know, when you get a lot of reporters together for one big media event like that, all different types of subjects can come up. Lots of little interesting tidbits you get from this type of event. And our own WVUA reporter Bradley Whittington gives you that story.
So I'm here at Media Days inside the Superdome, and what's special about Media Days is that time to ask those random questions and to have a little fun with the coaches and the players, and today was no exception. Coach Saban talked about several things from his wife's shopping addiction to his favorite food, and the players had some fun doing some coach impersonations.
I have more to worry about than just the game. When we arrived here, Terry had two of her old sidekicks from Baton Rouge that she used to always go shopping with in New Orleans, meet her at the bus, and she never even came up to the room. So she loves to shop here. We've been here when we haven't been able to get all the stuff in the plane to go home. So, but if that makes her happy, I'm happy.
Real quick, give me your Bobby Williams impression. He said you never do it when he walks by.
You know I do the Bobby. I knows how to do it. You got a funnel to 5? Roll over!
No, I really haven't seen it. I've heard it, and every time I come around and he's doing it, he kind of stops. So, but I've heard he's pretty good.
Bust! Right there. Got that?
Got it. What about Coach Saban? You go with him? You don't do him. What about Coach Groh?
Coach Groh, Christian Jones.
Thank you.
One blue.
Well, I'm big on crawfish etouffee, and when you have good relationships with people in Louisiana, they send you these things on occasion. And Miss Christine Lemoyne, who is one of those good friends in Lafayette, makes sure that I get a couple of dishes a year.
Alabama's home team sports. You know, New Orleans is famous for so many things, their cuisine, their architecture. They're also famous for those really interesting cemeteries you will find scattered throughout and just outside the city limits. We went to one of those today, the St. Louis number 1 it's called. It is Louisiana's oldest functioning cemetery, a very interesting place. And according to the group Save Our Cemeteries, Adam Stevenson, there are still 12 to 14 funerals in the church-owned cemetery every year, and the cemetery was laid out way back in 1789, but because of fires and other natural disasters, some of the records have actually been lost. One difference between tombs like these and the underground vaults many of us are used to, besides the obvious, is the process in which they put someone in one vault. Lots of members of the same family sometimes, leaving the question how many bodies can actually fit in one single vault.
Keep in mind, before you had, embalming and such, the human body disintegrates at a pretty quick pace. As a matter of fact, traditionally, a vault once sealed is supposed to remain sealed for a year and a day.
And among those tombs there in the cemetery, there is one in particular that is drawing all kinds of people who are superstitious. There's a very interesting lady who's buried inside that cemetery, and tonight on the news at 6 you'll find out why so many people are making the trek to visit her gravesite and why they think it might actually bring them good fortune to go there. Well, a lot of people have been asking us since we've been down here in the Big Easy hey, I'm not able to go to New Orleans myself, but I would like to live vicariously through Alabama's home team. And I'm here to tell you, you can do just that. We have all kinds of ways you can do that. It's the beauty of technology. You know, when it works properly, it can be a great thing. And you can go to WVUATV.com, go there right now, in fact, and you can see newscasts, also lots of web extras. Just click news, then go to the BCS tab, and you can also see behind the scenes footage of me, Gary Harris, John Huddleston, the rest of the big crew that's here in New Orleans, and get up to the minute pictures, videos, and updates from the Big Easy right there on WVUATV.com. And also, remember, you can be our friend on Facebook. We put a lot of our own personal photos and videos there. And we've got lots more live from here in New Orleans later on the news at 5. But first, we did have some news back home in Tuscaloosa. So let's go to our Tuscaloosa studios with Terry Brewer for that.
All right, thank you, Lynn. Some fantastic reporting from down there in New Orleans. Well, sauce versus sauce. That is what's on the line between the mayors of Tuscaloosa and Baton Rouge for the national championship game. Mayor Kip Holden wagered 3 gallons of Raising Cane's infamous cane sauce if LSU loses to Alabama. Now, Cane's is a chicken restaurant. Mayor Maddox's office says in return, Maddox wagered 3 gallons of Alabama's Dreamland barbecue sauce if Alabama does not come out on top. Maddox's office said the two mayors also discussed the challenges of disaster recovery as well as the upcoming championship bowl. Well, here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama fans are on their way to join the Crimson Tide in New Orleans. We met up with fans that were boarding the Amtrak train to New Orleans this afternoon. Everyone was covered in their crimson and houndstooth. The train left around 1:30 this afternoon. All of the fans that we talked to think it's going to be a good game, and they're excited to be in New Orleans with other Alabama fans.
Being in New Orleans, there's something, when we went to the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, there was just something special about being able to walk past somebody with an Alabama jersey on or a hat and be able to just kind of say, Roll Tide, you know, and it was just so special. It's what the whole football season is culminating into.
It's an old saying, it's hard to beat a football team twice, so Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Yeah.
Now, WVUA also has a crew at the New Orleans train station, so when all those fired up fans arrive, your home team will take you right into the middle of all the fun. You can see the story on WVUA News at 10 o'clock tonight. And fans have another option to get to New Orleans by bus. Tuscaloosa Charter Service is still offering a round-trip ticket to New Orleans for $100. Cliff Dorsey with the Charter Service says so far around 400 people have signed up for the trip. They will take as many buses as needed. He says they want to show as much spirit in New Orleans as there is on game days in Tuscaloosa. The charter buses will leave from University Mall in Tuscaloosa at 7 a.m. on game day and depart from the Superdome at midnight. Now, if you would like to reserve a seat, you can contact Cliff Dorsey at the number on your screen, 205-556-5757. And one of the highlights of Monday night's game will be the University of Alabama's $1 Million Band. Today they held their final rehearsal, putting the finishing touches on their drills and made sure every note is hit just right. They leave for New Orleans tomorrow morning.